In this video, we are going to learn about president. What is the role of the president in our political system, and what is the difference between the president's role in our parliamentary system and also in presidential system. Hello everyone, this is Seshu Chira. Welcome to Hanska Academy. Please consider subscription. Right, getting into the video now. What is the power of the president, or what is the role of the president? President is the head of the state. In our political system, the head of the state exercises only the nominal powers. So the nominal powers in the sense like the Queen of Britain, who functions are to a large extent ceremonial, whose functions are to a large extent ceremonial. In the same way, we have our president like the Queen of Britain. He also is a ceremonial figure and having nominal powers. The president supervises all the functioning of the political institutions in our country so that they operate in harmony and the objectives of the state are fulfilled. So the power of the president in our country are nominal. They are taken inspiration from the Queen of Britain, whose functions are to large extent ceremonial. In the same way, we also have the nominal powers to our president. President's duty is to supervise the overall functioning of the political institutions in our country so that they operate in harmony to achieve the objectives of the state. And who appoints the president? President of India is elected indirectly. President of India is elected indirectly by electoral college voting system. What is the voting system that is being followed for the appointment of president? The voting system that is being followed for the appointment of president is electoral college. In accordance with this system, the proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote system, they elect the president. So what is the system? Electoral college. And they have single means of transferable vote system. So what is this system? Every state, to understand the electoral college system, every state has legislative assembly. At the same time, all the members of the parliament are also part of this. So, the elected members of the legislative assemblies, the members of union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, candidates standing for the president's post has to get a majority of votes to win the election. To ensure this, or to ensure that president can be seen to represent the entire nation. So the president can never claim the kind of the direct popular mandate that the prime minister can claim. This ensures that it remains only as a nominal executive. Now, the electoral college system, as we discussed the voting system, who all will vote? The members of the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the members of the state legislative assemblies of all the states, all the 28 states, and the members of the legislative assemblies of the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. All these members will have a particular value for their vote. That will be considered and the number of votes will be divided. So basing on that, the winning percentage of the president will be taken. Generally, all the members of the MPs, all the state assemblies, MLAs will elect, but they are electing directly the president. But then, president cannot claim the support of the people's mandate. Why? People are not electing the president directly. Here, the members who are elected by the people, who became the MLAs and the MPs, they are electing the president. Means president is elected indirectly. That's why he can never claim that he has a popular mandate, and he is only a nominal executive for the country. So in our country, the powers of the presidents are limited, nominal, ceremonial. He is elected through the system of electoral college and the means of single transferable vote system. He is elected by the members of Lok Sabha, the members of Rajya Sabha, all the state assemblies members, and the members of or the assembly members of union territories such as Delhi, Puducherry, and now you can add Jammu and Kashmir as well. So he can only be a nominal executive. He cannot claim the popular mandate as the Prime Minister of India can claim. Now coming to the presidential system. The presidential system, presidents all over the world are not always nominal executives like the presidents of India. Yes, the US president is directly elected by the people of United States. He personally chooses and appoints all the ministers, and they need not be the members of the parliament. He can select anybody. The law making is still done by legislature called the Congress in the US, but the president can veto any law. He can cancel any law. Most importantly, the US president does not need the support of the majority of members in the Congress, and neither is he is answerable. Neither he is answerable to the members. So if you see the Indian system, the Indian Prime Minister is accountable to the Parliament. He is elected by the people, but Prime Minister is not directly elected by the people. The leader of the majority party is elected, but here in the presidential system, the presidents are directly elected by the public. He can appoint anyone whom he feels fit for the post. He can appoint them, and the legislature or the lawmaking body in USA is Congress, but president does not need the Congress support. Neither he is answerable to the members of the Congress. The tenure of the president, US president, is fixed 4 years. President has a fixed tenure of 4 years, and even if a party does not have a majority in Congress, still he will be there for 4 years. But in India, if you see, the Prime Minister, if he does not have the support of the Lok Sabha, immediately he has to resign. And the model is followed in most of the countries in Latin America, in the Central and Northern American continent. Many of the ex-Soviet Union countries, which were once members of the Soviet Union group, were also following the presidential system of governance only. So the president is ultimately powerful in the presidential system. He is not answerable to the parliament of that particular system known as Congress. All government activities take place in the name of the president. All law and policy making, all are done on the name of the president only. All majority or major appointments are made in the name of president. They include the Chief Justice of the Judges of India, the Judges of the Supreme Court, the High Courts of States, the Governors of the States, the Election Commissioners, Ambassadors to other countries, etc. Now the Electoral College, a specially constituted elected body to elect the President and the Vice President of India, is the main function, is to conduct elections for the President and the Vice President. All international treaties or agreements are made in the name of the President only. The President is the supreme commander of the defense forces of India. President has emergency powers, that is power to deal with an unexpected and a critical situation. He has the power to declare an emergency or president's rule, and issue an ordinance. These are the powers of the president in our country. He has power to appoint the prime minister. Yes, president appoints the prime minister is the formality for calling the leader of the majority party in Lok Sabha. He has his selection only if there are two groups and both of them can claim majority. Only then he can use his discretion. There are limitations on the power of the president. In spite of these powers, there is a lot of limitation on how he exercises his powers. He can exercise all the powers only on the advice of the Council of Ministers. The president can ask the council to reconsider its advice, but if the same advice is given again, the president is bound to act accordingly to it. Similarly, a bill that is being passed by the parliament becomes a law only after the president giving his assent to that, means approving it. If the president wants, she or he can delay it for some time and send the bill back for parliament for reconsideration. But if the parliament passes the bill again, the same bill again, the president has to sign it. That is the mandatory for the president to sign. So our president, Indian president powers are ceremonial in nature and nominal. He is appointed as a president is elected indirectly by electoral college. Electoral college consists of the elected members of both the houses of parliament, members of the legislative assemblies of all the states, elected members of the legislative assemblies of the union territories of Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. And when it is compared to the presidential system, president in the presidential system enjoys enormous powers. He can pick up all the ministers, even those who are not members of the lawmaking bodies. He is not answerable to any of the members of the Congress or the legislature in the presidential system. His tenure is fixed for 4 years. Whether his party is in power or not, he will be remaining in power for next 4 years. This model is followed in most of the Latin American countries and ex-Soviet Union countries. Our president in the parliamentary form of government enjoys enormous powers, and all the activities in the country or related to government are carried on the name of the president only. He can issue president's rule, declare emergency and issue an ordinance. But he can do all these things. He can appoint the prime minister, and only on the advice of the prime minister he can do any kind of activity. If the parliament or the council sends to him any kind of bills for approval, he can only send it back once for reconsideration. Second time when the bills come, he cannot send them back, he had to sign it. These are the powers of the presidents in India, parliamentary model of governance, and the US presidential system. That's all we have in this video. Stay tuned. Thank you.